That's the mizzen coming off. There she goes. Back to her winter resting home. The mast and the dinghy are on the trailer.
Welcome to Sailing Kokopelli. We are a family who enjoy sharing our sailing adventures with you. This is Ian, our daredevil and teenage video maker. The captain and first mate, Jason and Jane. The real boss of the boat, our sweet dog, Sienna. And this is Kokopelli, our 43-foot sailing ketch. Like and subscribe to follow our story.
So we're working on the mast project today. Got it set up here on the mast trailer as well as the sawhorses for the mizzen. We so far we're starting to pull wires and put in pull strings so we can put new wires in. I also took all the turnbuckles and labeled them, and we have the stack of turnbuckles over there. So we're getting ready to sand them. Well, we have more prep to do, but then we'll sand and we'll prime and paint the mast a nice bright white. We're replacing a couple winches. We're raising the boom, so we have to drill the rivets out and move that. We're raising it about a foot, or exactly a foot, so we can build the hardtop for the boat too. So it's just the beginning of it all. Okay, so a little more progress. We have some cables that came off. It was our rear stays that came off. Our forestay came off of here. Our rear stays came off of here. I don't know what it's called, but the one that attaches the top of this mast to the top of the mizzen. It's like another rear stay. These cables, they're kind of pressed in with a sleeve, and we can't really take them out without disassembling the cable, I believe, because it's got that on the other side and it doesn't fit through the opening. So we're going to leave those in. We bundled them all up. We've taken out all of the halyards, the topping lift, we put pull strings in. We've also de-wired everything. This is the masthead light wire, so we can pull in new wires. And then what we're going to do is jump over and start to work on the mizzen. mast. We'll do the same thing. We'll take off all the turnbuckles and coil all the cables, pop off anything that can come off easily, and just keep going. Okay, so now we did the mizzen. We have all the small paracord lines hanging out of the mast, and we stripped down everything that's coming off. We coiled the stays just so we can work around them. We took these upper stays off because I like them. They just twist sideways and lift out, which was really nice. We took all this apart. We pulled the pulleys out of the top, shivs I think they're called, and we're going to replace them because they're plastic and just not in great shape. And we're going to replace them. Well, some more progress today. Today I was stripping, this is the mizzen. I stripped all the cleats, having trouble getting this off. I'm going to pull the knuckle off, but I just have to drill the rivets out of that, so I'm going to pull that off. I was able to take off the mount for the radar, just stripping everything down off of these masts. I just finished up on the, well, I'm not done, but I just finished on the main mast, the steps, the cleats, the winch plates, the more cleats up there. Again, I'm going to drill the knuckle off, and this knuckle's getting moved a foot higher so we can have room for a hard top. I still have to pull this winch, that cleat, and everything on the other side, but just getting there. So it's the start of the hard top. We bent corners, and then we'll weld them together to straight pipes. In order to bend them properly, we broke one, but in order to bend them properly, what we ended up doing is filling them with sand and then bending them and then emptying the sand out. Now we just put in these two laterals. We're going to frame in a window back in this area, a 30-inch wide by 36-inch long window, so we can view the sail. So now we're cutting cross members, and then we'll cut cross members out there. The way we cope them and fill them in.
May have to trim this a little bit more.
The ladders are starting. Okay, so a little bit about the hardtop. We built this at the shop. It's all aluminum. It's even going to have an aluminum skin on top of it. We have the ladders. We designed ladders into it so we can climb up on top of it and get on top. We're going to have a window here, so at the helm we can look up and see the sails and be able to have the visibility of the sails. It will have an aluminum plate, one piece aluminum plate on top that we're going to cut. It's going to overhang a couple inches all the way around. We're going to be able to hang fishing rods from underneath of it. We can get up on top and jump into the water. We have 600 watts of a flex panel from Bouge RV that we can put on top of it, be able to walk on those. They won't get hindered. We're going to have them tied in series, 300 watts to each of the Victron charge controllers. So we'll have two banks here, and then we'll be able to, it'll be a nice hard top over top of the cockpit of the boat for the summer. Well, we're back from Costa Rica and back on to mast projects. So as part of the hardtop project, we're raising our boom exactly 1 foot. Old location, new location. I did flip over the knuckle because there was some wear on the bottom side, not horrible, but I decided the top side looked nice and new. The knuckle is completely symmetrical at this point. So I flipped it over so that way we put new life, because the boom sits on the bottom and it hangs off the top. So it gives it new life. Now I have pilot holes drilled, and I'll wait until I buy the rivets to rivet it back together to make sure what size hole they need to be. And now I have to cut the slug opening, which used to be here. So again, I raised that exactly 1 foot, sketched it out, and we're gonna basically Dremel it out with one of these. Clean it up and get it ready for paint. Getting closer all the time. Okay, so it's a little rainy Sunday. Kind of raining outside. But he brought them inside. I'm gonna sand the booms. These are the booms all stripped of all their hardware. I have all the spreaders that I'm gonna sand inside today because they fit inside. And then we have the masts are mostly sanded. They're getting really close. They're mostly sanded. They're stripped and mostly sanded. We're going to try to finish sanding them this week. The plan is Thursday, I have a friend coming over who's going to actually meet me at my new shop and weld all of the holes that we're eliminating. He's a really good TIG welder. He's going to TIG weld we're not eliminating that hole that I showed you, but there's some other holes that we're eliminating and moving. So he's going to TIG weld all of those. And then we're going to sand them up, grind them up. And the goal is Friday to paint or prime and Saturday to paint. And then let it sit the rest of the weekend before we can handle them and get them out of my workshop. So that's the goal. We'll see how it goes. Okay, so we're well underway. The mizzen boom is pretty much sanded. The main boom, I have this side and the bottom sanded. I have to do, which this is the top, this is the side. I have to do this side and then I have to do the bottom. So I'm halfway done with that or so. It's coming pretty good, as opposed to the yellow and all the chips and stuff. So we're getting there. Okay, so I kind of sanded one spreader. All the flaking paint's off. I'm pretty well sanded there. I'm going to touch that up a little bit more later. The two booms are sanded. Those all came out pretty good. You can see I had to sand around these. I cannot get these out. These are the hooks for my main sheet. I cannot get those out to save my life. So I'm going to paint around them and deal with it. But I have 2, 3, 4, 5 spreaders to go.
So we're working on the mast right now. These ones are all sanded and ready to go get painted. Dad's gonna bring them to the shop in the morning and we're gonna paint them there on Friday. And I'm just finished sanding the spreaders tonight and that'll be the rest of the sanding done. So the booms have been all sanded. The spreaders just need to get sanded now. That's the last of it. So, and then she's ready to get primed and painted and then rewired and rebuilt and put on her. And ready to be sailed this summer.
Okay. The masts are all tied down. The mast and boom. I have both mizzen mast, the main boom, the mizzen boom. Ian is just finishing sanding the spreaders, which we'll throw in the back of my truck. We're getting ready to tow these over to my shop across town in the morning. We're going to do a little bit of TIG welding on the mast, fill a couple holes because of how we moved the boom. We raised the boom a foot. So we're going to do a little bit of TIG welding just to get rid of those holes. Also, I have holes here, extra holes where I am changing my steps. my mast steps, and it uses a different hole pattern. So I'm going to fill any of the holes that we're not using just to get rid of all the extra holes. And then we'll set it up tomorrow afternoon. We're going to ticket tomorrow at the shop. And then tomorrow afternoon we'll set up and get ready to start priming. All the primer and paint showed up today. So we're going to do 3 coats of primer in a sense. And then we're going to do 3 coats of Snow White. So that's Thursday's project and Friday's project. Or no, I'm sorry, Friday and Saturday's project. So, should be a fun weekend. Primer started. I have the 2 booms done. I have the spreaders primed and about 2/3 of the mast, main mast. The mizzen mast is waiting. That's next. Everything taped up and bagged, so that way we can paint and not get paint all over the stuff I couldn't remove. On to priming. I did a spot coat, all the bare spots, and then I did a full primer coat. It's coming out pretty nice. They say I got to give it 1 hour. At this temperature, it's about 75 degrees or so, 78 degrees inside here. So they say give it 1 hour before you recoat with the primer. My little mixing table. I'm not great at it, so I make a mess, but that's okay. The primer looks to be going on pretty smooth and nice. I'm kind of happy with it so far. We'll see what the second coat brings. Okay, so it's time for paint day. Nice bright white. Spreaders are 1 coat. This is our first coat. Ian's painting right now. How you doing, Ian? Still got the mizzen to go. But they're looking nice, pretty. They'll be nice bright white.
All the freshly painted masts and booms. Got the booms hanging out over here. All the stays wrapped up. Got the spreaders hanging on this rack over here. All nice, and these are all dry now. Completely dry. They all look really good. Way better than they did before. Like, look at this mess.
They look awesome.
They look awesome. They all look way better than they did before. They all look really good. Lots of boat projects going on right now. We have to reassemble them all and get them down to the boat to get them stepped. Oh God, they're gonna look so good. And we have the hardtop that's also gonna go on the boat. We've been working on the hardtop a lot recently. Dad did that at his shop that he builds trailers in. So, lots of cool boat projects. Lots more boat projects to come. If you would like to see more boat projects as we're getting ready to splash for the 2024 sailing season in New England, we're based out of Mystic, Connecticut. Like, subscribe, and follow us for more. We're going to be doing some pretty cool sailing this summer, along with more fun and cool boat projects, installing autopilot, and don't we have to do Victron stuff?
Victron, autopilot.
We're gonna be installing some Victron solar equipment and some new solar panels on the hardtop. Whole lots more cool boat projects, and just some cool sailing with these brand new shiny masts. Or they're not brand new, but they sure do look it.